Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s chemtrails task force, now operating deep inside the belly of the beast, has uncovered what the media won't touch. The devastating storm was engineered, and the names behind it, all too familiar. Bill Gates, Peter Thiel, the Clinton Foundation, their funding, their tech, their fingerprints all over the crime scene. They say it's just bad weather, just coincidence. But the task force has compiled the evidence, satellite data, flight logs, whistleblower testimony, and it all points to one conclusion. This was weather warfare. The American people were specifically targeted. And now RFK Jr. says he has what he needs to finally do what he's promised for years: arrest Bill Gates. Before we dive in, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and join the People's Voice Locals community to join our incredible community, support the channel, and gain access to exclusive and uncensored content. Weather warfare is the crown jewel of the military-industrial complex that can bring populations to their knees without those populations even knowing they're under assault. Bill Gates is on record admitting they've been working on perfecting the technology to assault North America with devastating winter storms. As RFK Jr. explains, Gates was working with the Pentagon before 9/11 to develop bioweapons that could be deployed through weather warfare.
There was a simulation called Dark Winter that didn't come out very well.
During June 22nd and 23rd, 2001, less than 3 months before the 9/11 attacks, the Pentagon launched a war game codenamed Operation Dark Winter at Andrews Air Force Base that emphasized the military's earnest commitment to bioweapons vaccines. Robert Cadillac was the lead organizer of this pandemic simulation. Dark Winter participants explored strategies for imposing coercive quarantines, censorship, mandatory masking, lockdowns, and forced vaccination, and expanded police powers as the only rational response to the pandemic.
Gates acknowledged that the Dark Winter simulation didn't come out well, but insiders at the Gates Foundation claim he's now celebrating the chaos of the 2026 winter storm that swept across the country, a weather event that was strikingly unnatural in its intensity and behaviour. Here's Gates, positively cock-a-hoop, as the storm barrels across the country, bringing record snowfall, ice accumulations, and sub-zero temperatures to over 140 million people. Weather warfare has evolved into a terrifyingly precise science, powered by decades of deep state research, and quietly funded by globalist elites like Bill Gates, Peter Thiel, and the Clinton Foundation. Their fingerprints are all over the skies, and all over the winter storm crime scene. The map of Winter Storm Fern, with record heat in the west and brutal cold in the east, is chemically nucleated weather warfare. The chance of nature creating the temperature gradient without artificial help? We're looking at a 1 in trillion chance.
You're telling me this map right here, so explain to me what I'm looking at and how this show proves that this is an engineered weather pattern that's happening right now, this huge snowstorm that's cutting across the United States and this cold snap. You're telling me that this map, so tell me what this map shows us.
If you went back 20 years, you would never, or 20 years or further, you would never find anything that even remotely resembled that map. Weather moves in the northern hemisphere from west to east because of the Coriolis effect of the planet, because of the spin.
Right.
So how can it be record warm in the west and record cold in the east? That's patently wrong. So they high pressure dome with frequency transmission facilities, which are weapons of mass destruction like HARP in Alaska. They can superheat the ionosphere, creates a massive expanding bulge in the atmosphere up and down. That creates a high pressure dome in the northern hemisphere, which spins the upper level wind currents clockwise. So picture that red spot of above normal or record high temperatures as being a high pressure dome that rotates clockwise, rotating all the moisture from the Pacific around it, or low pressure zone below it, rotating below it. So they're spinning the moisture around the west, chemically nucleating it. And those are patented processes, by the way. These are endothermic reacting materials. Chinese government openly announced they're doing exactly this on a massive scale. All mainstream media covered it. If you bring it up here, they marginalize you. So they're seeding this cloud moisture with climate engineering aircraft, not the single engine propeller driven kind, but the kind that dump 100 tons in a single payload.
But the media wants you to believe it's just an unfortunate coincidence, that this is just climate change, that spraying the sky, seeding the clouds, and manipulating jet streams with nano dust particles has nothing to do with it. Weather modification investigators have pointed to deeply suspicious flight patterns by US Air Force KC-135 Stratotankers in the days leading up to the event. Flight tracking data and eyewitness reports suggest these aircraft, typically used for aerial refueling, were executing circling maneuvers over urban population centers most affected by the storm.
I don't think it's any coincidence that just before this historic ice storm is about to hit the United States Air Force has been flying some super strange flight patterns. This is not normal. This is not normal. This is not normal. These planes are the KC-135 Stratotanker, a military aircraft that's primarily used for aerial refueling. But it can also be used for geoengineering, also known as weather modification. The Stratotanker can do stratospheric aerial injection, which involves releasing reflective particles into the atmosphere to cool the planet. This is no coincidence that this is all happening just before this giant ice storm is about to hit the entire United States.
This is all the produce, the chemtrail produce of USAF Stratotankers flying in circles in patterns.
Flight Radar 24 data showed KC-135s performing loops over Montana and southeastern Connecticut on January the 23rd, just before the storm's onset. One ex-user in Connecticut reported multiple aircraft turning a mostly sunny sky ominous, saying that this was not normal, and they were prepping the atmosphere for the blizzard.
Yeah, safe to say something's going on here. I'm on a flight path, and this is not the normal route that these jets take over my house. And there's the sun over there being blocked out.
This isn't climate change, it's geoengineering. And they're ramping up operations as we speak to unleash more 1,000-year floods and devastating natural disasters. And according to RFK, the winter storm was the test run. And the master plan involves collapsing society in key parts of the United States to bring the entire country to its knees.